April 15th, 1865, the death of Abraham Lincoln. On April 15th, 1865, President of the United States Abraham Lincoln died from a bullet wound he received in the back of the head. He was 56 years old. The night before, around 10:15 p.m. at Ford's Theater, he was shot in the back of the head by John Wilkes Booth, the lead assassin of a secret club of Confederate sympathizers that was planning on taking out Lincoln's cabinet as well. Booth escaped by jumping out of the presidential box located in the theater's balcony, broke his leg, and hobbled onto a getaway horse. The dying president was taken to a nearby house owned by a local tailor named William Peterson. A team of doctors examined Lincoln, but after spending an hour of trying to find his wound, they realized there wasn't much they can do for him. The Surgeon General of the United States Army, Joseph Barnes, located the wound but realized it was too deep inside his head to be removed. It was only a matter of time before he died. Another doctor, Charles Leal, who first discovered the dying Lincoln inside the presidential box at Ford's Theater, ran to his side to administer first aid, sat at his bedside all night long, comforting Lincoln, who by now has slipped into a coma. On April 15th, 1865, at 7:22 a.m., Lincoln died in his sleep from a blood wound due to a massive hemorrhaging. Vice President Andrew Johnson, who was nearby and visited the dying Lincoln earlier, vowing to get those who did this to him by exclaiming, "They shall suffer for this! They shall suffer for this!" until he had to leave the room due to Mrs. Lincoln having a psychotic episode, screaming that he leave immediately. Johnson went back to the Kirkwood home and continued his favorite hobby, drinking. When Lincoln died, Johnson was to be sworn in immediately, but he couldn't be found. Lincoln's aides eventually found him at the Kirkwood house, but he was in no condition to take the oath. According to eyewitnesses, he had puffy eyes and his hair was caked with mud from the street. A barber and a doctor were brought in to clean and sober him up so Johnson could be able to be sworn in at around 10 o'clock a.m. When Johnson was sobered up enough to stand and reasonably recite the oath of office, the swearing-in ceremony took place in the lobby of the Kirkwood House around 11 a.m. Eyewitnesses say that Johnson slurred his speech, but looked way better than he did a few hours earlier.